Angeles, California, Jesse Lampert. A librarian from Gainesville, Virginia, Tanya Parrott. And our returning champion, a software developer from Portland, Oregon, Matthew Marcus, whose two-day cash winnings total $66,000. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Ken Jennings.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Welcome to Jeopardy! Our Oscar Wilde adoring and maybe even somewhat resembling champion Matthew Marcus was able to celebrate his second win all weekend long after taking out his Friday challengers. Perhaps tonight he can begin work on his masterpiece. The important you start us off.
U.S. Museum 600.
One of the most famous paintings at LA's Getty Center Museum is this artist's irises. Matthew.
Who is Vincent van Gogh?
Yes.
Add a letter to the start, 400.
Of a word meaning to vote into office, to get this verb meaning to choose. Tanya.
What is select?
Yes, from elect.
Add a letter, 200.
Of a word meaning healthy, to get this citation. Matthew.
What is whale?
Right, from hail.
Doctor Who, 200.
Well, you may be disappointed. Before he was named WHO's director for Europe, Dr. Hans Kluge fought to control this lung disease, also known as consumption. Tanya.
What is tuberculosis?
Right.
Dr. 400.
In 1974, WHO Director General Houghton Mahler predicted the eradication of this disease. By 1980, it was gone. Jesse.
What is smallpox?
Yes.
Doctor Who for 600.
In Africa, Dr. Matshidiso Moeti led a WHO initiative to bring antiretroviral therapy to people living with this virus. Matthew.
What is HIV?
That's right.
Parts and Labour, 400.
Kim Wexler, Vincent Gambini. Tanya.
What is lawyer?
Right.
Parts and labor, 200.
Jake Peralta, Harry Callahan. Matthew.
What is a policeman?
That's right, police detectives.
Wine tasting 101, 200.
Sauvignon Blanc tends to be sec, a synonym of this word meaning with no perceptible sugary taste. Jesse.
What is dry?
Yes.
Wine tasting 101 for 400.
The droplets that form on the side of a glass and slowly move down after wine is swirled are known as these body parts. Jesse.
What are legs?
That's right.
Wine tasting for 600.
High alcohol content leads to the big mouthfeel called full this, used of wines such as Montepulciano. Matthew.
What is body?
Correct.
Add a letter at the start, 600.
Of a word meaning something done, to get this word meaning a splinter group. Jesse.
What is faction?
That's right.
Wine tasting 101 for 800.
Musical term for subtle flavors or aromas. The Stag's Leap Cab is said to have them of tobacco and mulberries, with hints of pencil lead. Matthew.
What are notes?
You got it.
Months that start with Feb, 400.
February 1990. In South Africa, the 30-year ban on this political party is lifted by President F.W. de Klerk. Matthew.
What is the ANC?
That's right.
Months that start with Feb, 600.
The answer there is the Daily Double in the round. You're in the lead, Matthew.
I'll bet 2,000.
All right, here's your clue in months that start with Feb. February 1989, Reverend Barbara Harris becomes the first woman bishop in this U.S. church and in the Anglican Communion.
As an Expedia member, you get a discount now, plus points for your next trip.
What is the Church of America?
No, I'm sorry. We had an Anglo-American clue for you, and you couldn't come up with the Episcopal Church.
Yes.
You lose $2,000, but you're in second place. We're going to take a quick break for some commercial messages, and then we'll come right back and chat with our three players. Jesse Lampert is a sales executive from Los Angeles, but when you were straight out of college, you did not work right away in sales. What was your first job?
No, my first job was actually as a 10th grade English teacher, and I was 21 years old and teaching 16, 17-year-olds, and so I grew out this beard for the first time so that I would appear many years older than I actually was.
Is that the secret to classroom management, is a nice beard?
You know, I asked them at the end of the year how old they thought I was, and they said 30, 35, so I think I was able to keep them in line and fool them.
I think teens just think everyone is very old.
I think so too.
Tanya Parrott is a librarian from Gainesville, Virginia. You must also teach because for a sixth grade social studies class, you did a great project. Tell me about it.
So we were trying to ensure that our students had kind of the experience that the pioneers had when they were exploring the West. So we created several activities. We taped out a Conestoga wagon and gave them boxes to fill it with, and we simulated a river crossing. But my favorite was that I made fake buffalo chips and had the students collect them because that was what kids did on the wagon trains.
And sixth graders love poop, so that's a very perceptive view into the sixth grade mind, I think. Well done. Matthew Marcus is a software developer from Portland, and also the second place finisher in a London Times contest. What kind of contest?
This is a crossword contest. It's cryptic crosswords. I'm better at the English crossword style than I am at the New York Times, though I try my hand at that as well.
They're very complicated, the British puzzles, full
Yeah,
of
there's a lot.
wordplay and double meanings.
There's a lot of anagrams. There's a lot of solving little charades. It's good practice for Jeopardy, to be honest.
So maybe you'll go for the wordplay categories, I see. You've got control of the board right now, Matthew, after missing the daily double. You're still in second place. Select again.
All right, parts and labor 600.
Fox Mulder, Clarice Starling. Matthew.
What is FBI agents?
Yes.
Parts and labor 800.
Gabe Cotter, Mr. Hand. Tanya.
What are teachers?
That's right.
Parts and labor 1,000.
Francis Mulcahy, Brendan Flynn. Tanya.
What are fathers, Father Mulcahy, priests?
Yes, they're Catholic priests. You got this.
Let's go with Doctor Who 800.
In Ukraine, Dr. Yarno Habisht works to vaccinate people against this childhood disease of rash and cough that's making a resurgence. Jesse?
What is measles?
That's right.
Wine tasting 101 for 1,000.
These compounds in wine that leave that puckery feeling in the mouth mostly come from grape skins. Matthew?
What are tannins?
1,000 for you.
U.S. Museums 400.
And here's to you, this Brooklyn Dodgers Hall of Famer, whose New York City museum honoring his legacy opened in 2022. Tanya?
Who is Robinson?
Yes, Jackie Robinson.
Museums 200.
You'll find replicas of the Oval Office and the White House Cabinet Room at his center in Little Rock. Jesse?
Who is Bill Clinton?
Yes.
U.S. Museums for 800.
You can light candles in memory of those who perished at the hands of the Nazis at the end of your visit to this museum in Washington. Jesse?
What is the Holocaust Memorial?
That's right.
U.S. Museums for 1,000.
The highlight of the Submarine Force Museum in Groton, Connecticut is this first nuclear sub, launched in 1954. That was the USS Nautilus. Back to you, Jesse.
Months that start with February for 800.
February 1945, Allied forces under this commander returned to retake Manila. Tanya.
Who is MacArthur?
Good.
Months that start with Feb 200.
February 1946. After losing a vote for General Assembly President, Trygve Lie becomes the first man in this United Nations job. Tanya.
What is Secretary General?
You got it.
Months 1,000.
February 1848, a huge Paris banquet, since protests were forbidden, leads to the downfall of the king and the start of the second this. Matthew.
What is French Revolution?
No. Tanya or Jesse? It's the beginning of the Second Republic. Select again, Tanya.
Add a letter 800.
Of a synonym for a conclusion, to get this word meaning awaiting conclusion. Matthew.
What is pending?
Yes, crossword expertise paying off.
Add that to 1,000.
Finishing the category of a word meaning ready to eat, to get this word meaning to complain. Matthew.
What is gripe?
Ripe and gripe, it came to you. And we'll finish off Doctor Who. WHO Southeast Asia Director Poonam Ketrapal Singh aims to eradicate NTDs, neglected these diseases of warm latitudes. They're just tropical diseases. All right, all three of you are off to a great start. Very even game. Just $800 separating first and third right now. Jesse, you'll select first in Double Jeopardy when we return. We'll see you in a moment. Great game so far. Let's get it back underway. Here are the categories for Double Jeopardy. We have train routes at first, then hot tunes, prisoners of war. Then you'll be SSing the situation. Each response will contain a single S and then a